Welcome back to another video, and today we got our Week 12 NFL game predictions. We're going down every single matchup, breaking it down, analyzing it, and giving our prediction, as well as all of my other friends. We'll show the standings in a second here, but real quick, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe, turn on the noties to make sure you don't miss whenever we upload. We're uploading 4 times a week right now: college basketball on Mondays, college football on Tuesdays, NFL obviously on Wednesdays, and then NBA on Thursdays. So if any of that interests you, please go down there, subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. But let's go ahead and look at the standings. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who are new, this is the 5th year me and my friends have done this. I've won all 4 years, so I'm looking to win 5 in a row. I've had kind of a 1-game lead on second place, and I've extended that to 2, so hopefully I can stay in first place here. Third place kind of creeping up, so we're going to continue to watch that. Maybe he can continue to move up here. But let's go ahead and get into this first matchup here. Bills versus Texans. Going to be a good one. I think the Texans could actually keep this closer than some may think. I think their defense is good enough. We've seen the Bills struggle kind of a lot offensively against good defenses, and I think the Texans may have the best defense in the league. It is a very good team. Davis Mills actually looked pretty good. I know they kind of squeaked by against the Titans, which not very promising, but Davis Mills kind of been playing at a similar level. I've heard people say that he's even playing better than CJ Stroud was. Obviously, if you're a Texans fan, if you're the Texans, I think you'd want to have CJ Stroud in, but Davis Mills getting the go at home. I think this could be a little bit of a tricky spot here for the Bills. They're favored by 6. I'm going to go with the Bills just because I think they're overall the better team, and it's hard for me to not pick them here. I feel like the Bills at 7-3, they've been kind of, inconsistent at points this season, so that concerns me a little bit. But I think, everybody kind of agrees that the Bills are still going to be a contender. We can say that with a lot of teams, like the Eagles, Lions, Chiefs. All those teams have been kind of been inconsistent all season, but I think the majority would agree that they are still contenders. So I'm going to go with the Bills on the road, but I think it could be closer than some may think. This is going to be a very tricky spot here, short week on the road against a very good defense. Steelers-Bears, very interesting spot here. It sounded like Aaron Rodgers had no chance to play. Now all of a sudden it sounds like there's a chance he may play. That's going to be something to look at. If he does play, will he be 100%? That's kind of my question here. The Bears just continue to find ways to win. They're now 7-3, first in the NFC North, ahead of the Lions, ahead of the Packers, ahead of the Vikings. I don't know. I mean, nobody saw this coming. Maybe the Bears kind of creep back down because their schedule coming up is very tough. I'm a Bears fan, so I'm loving life right now. We continue to win. Caleb's looking a lot better. The offense, very explosive at times, but when they get into the red zone, they kind of struggle. That worries me a little bit. It's gonna be an interesting game here. I think if Aaron Rodgers plays, that worries me because Aaron Rodgers kind of owns the Bears. He says it, and to be honest, it is somewhat true, sadly. But I think if Mason Rudolph plays, which I'm assuming he does, I gotta take the Bears at home, Soldier Field. I think the Bears get it done. I think they find a way to win once again. They're favored by 2.5 right now. I think that says a lot. I think, maybe if Aaron Rodgers was fully healthy, I'd actually probably take the Steelers if they were fully healthy, but they're not. So with that being said, give me the Bears at home. I think they continue to win. Patriots-Bengals. Who would have thought the Bengals are 3-7? I know Joe Flacco's been in, Joe Burrow. I saw a report today, though. Joe Burrow's a full participant in practice. I'd assume he doesn't play this week, but could you imagine he's already back? I don't think anybody saw this coming. I'm going to assume it's Joe Flacco. I've heard he was a little bit beat up, though. He might be questionable coming into this one. I'd expect him to play. I'd expect him to start, not Burrow. The Patriots should hopefully continue to use Travion Henderson. This dude has now had back-to-back weeks where they've finally given him the opportunity, and he's been balling. I think he's really going to get going again against this Bengals defense. I think Drake May is just going to throw all over them. This could be kind of a high-scoring game. I like the Patriots' chances in this one, though. I think they're the much better team. The Patriots, 9-2 right now. They got a really nice record, and yeah, they continue to win. I'm gonna keep taking them. Drake May playing at an MVP level. Giants-Lions, kind of an interesting one here. The Lions, typically, if they can't run the ball, they can't really, they don't do great. They kind of struggle to win games if they can't run the ball. The Giants, though, have one of the worst run defenses in the league. The Lions love to run the ball. They're favored by 10 at home here. I got to take the Lions here. I think they have a bounce-back game. They kind of, they didn't play great against the Eagles last week in primetime. The whole world was watching. They all saw that. Neither team's really played all that great. I think the Lions have a nice bounce-back game here. The Giants at 2-9, but honestly, I feel like they're a little bit better than the record actually says. Like Jackson Dart, I think he's coming back. Him coming back in should give this Giants offense a little bit of life here, at least, somewhat. But I do think the Lions will win this game at home here. Guarantee on the home team here. Once again, everybody's on the Packers here. I would tend to agree. I'm going to take the Packers to win this one. Honestly, the Packers really don't look all that impressive to me. They kind of squeaked one out against the Giants last week, 27-20. Don't love to see that. I mean, Jameis Winston was the QB, and you're barely beating them, and you're needing like a late fourth quarter touchdown to win. So I don't love that. The Vikings, though, J.J. McCarthy he doesn't look good. I know against the Bears, he's shown some flashes in the fourth quarter in both of the games against the Bears, but ultimately, throughout every other game, every other time he's played this season, he has not looked very good. The Vikings still have a very talented team, a very good head coach, a very good defense, but I think the Packers defense, I think Micah Parsons can maybe get after J.J. McCarthy a little bit in this one, maybe force a turnover. I think the Packers get this one done at home in Lambeau, favored by 6. I got the Packers here. I like them. Seahawks-Titans, probably the easiest game maybe ever to pick. Like, it's got to be the Seahawks, right? Like, they're favored by 13.5. That's probably too low with the way these two teams are playing. The Seahawks are playing like one of the best teams in the league. Sam Darnold had, 4 or 5 picks last week? And they still almost beat the Rams on the road. He had 4 picks, and they lost to the Rams by 2 points on the road with Sam Darnold throwing 4 picks. I mean, pretty crazy that they were somehow still in that game. That just goes to show how good the Seahawks are. I honestly feel better about the Seahawks after that game because there's no way Sam Darnold throws 4 picks in like a big-time game again. I just don't see that happening, and the fact the Seahawks still had a chance to win that game is pretty crazy to me. I like the Seahawks here. I think their defense is just going to shut down this Titans offense. They've got really nothing going for them. I like Cam Ward. I think he's showing some potential. Like, he could definitely be the QB of the future. They just have no weapons around him whatsoever. So I will take the Seahawks to get a dominating win here. Colts-Chiefs, a huge AFC game. If the Chiefs lose this game, they very well might be, have a very hard time. They're already behind in trying to get into the playoffs in the AFC. They're 5-5 right now. Who would have thought? But if the Chiefs lose this game, I don't know if they can really climb their way back into the playoffs at 5-6. That would be pretty tough. So this is essentially a must-win game for the Chiefs. Coming off a loss back at home here, I think the Chiefs just find a way to win. I know, the Colts 8-2. They've probably, you could argue, have played like the better team. They probably have been the better team so far this season. But something about the Chiefs in Arrowhead, man, it's just hard for me to pick against them. I still like that defense. I still think Mahomes better QB than Daniel Jones. Jonathan Taylor is obviously a problem, but I think the Chiefs defense can slow him down enough to get this win. I think their defense and Mahomes just find some way to win this game. I think it's going to be a close one. They're favored by 3.5. It's probably going to be like a 3-point game, so Colts maybe cover there. But I think the Chiefs just find a way to win in a must-win game at home. They get it done. Jets-Ravens. By the way, crazy that nobody took the Colts there. Jets-Ravens, is this 4 in a row of guarantees for the home team? I think so, I want to say. I'll take the Ravens. I'll just go ahead and keep doing it. I'll take the Ravens over the Jets. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor here getting the go, not Justin Fields. Probably a good thing because Justin Fields just looks absolutely horrible. He looks like the worst QB in the league. Sadly, as an Ohio State fan, pains me to say that, but it is true. This Ravens defense is really ramping up. They're looking a lot better every single week. Lamar Jackson's still not really getting going, but they're winning games. I think they will be just fine against the Jets here, favored by 13.5. I'll go ahead and take the Ravens at home. Browns-Raiders, a lot of eyes are going to be on this one because, Shedeur Sanders making his first ever start. I know he got into the game last week against the Ravens, but he didn't start that game. Dylan Gabriel was in, so Shedeur Sanders going to get the whole week of practice reps with the ones, the whole week of reps at practice with the ones. Maybe there's something there. Maybe Shedeur. This feels like a very Shedeur thing to do to win this game. People get really excited, and then he just absolutely tanks the rest of the season. I could very well see that happening. I think that's a very realistic possibility. And the Raiders, man, they couldn't do anything against the Cowboys defense, who have been like a bottom 3 defense all season. That's not promising. I don't love to pick the Raiders here, but they're at home. They're favored by 4 in this game. Kind of a weird line. I think Genty can maybe get going. It's hard for me to pick the Raiders with the fact that they couldn't do anything against the Cowboys defense. How are they going to do anything against the Browns defense? This game is probably going to be a very low-scoring game. It's going to be an ugly one. I think Max Crosby, shorter Sanders, maybe holds the ball a little too long. That's what we tend to see with young QBs. Maybe Max Crosby can get to him a few times, but Myles Garrett, it feels like every game he's getting like 4 sacks. Like, this dude is ridiculous. But so is Max Crosby. It's going to be a defensive game. I'd say ugly, like I said. I think the Raiders just have the playmakers, a little bit more playmakers on offense than the Browns do. I love Quinshon Judkins, but the Raiders got Brock Bowers. He probably is going to have a big game. Trey Tucker's a very explosive player. You got Ashton Genty. Obviously, it wasn't great last week, but they didn't really give him the ball last week. Hopefully, they give him the ball a little bit more. Like to see that, but I'm just going to take the home team here. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I just don't know if I trust Shador to get this win, but it feels like something that he would definitely do. Like, I could see that scenario happening. It's very realistic. The Browns could definitely win that game. Jaguars Cardinals. This is a weird game. Like, these two teams, both so strange, so inconsistent, so hard to pick. This feels like a very Cardinals game to win. Like, a very Cardinals thing to do to win this game. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even shocked that there's 4 on the Cardinals here. I'm gonna take the Jaguars. Early in the season, the Jaguars were kind of the defense that everyone was getting excited about. That was a lot to do with the amount of turnovers they were getting. They've kind of cooled off on that. Like, the Jaguars are a weird team, man. They beat the Chiefs earlier this season, then they blew it against the Texans. They were up so many points. Then they go out last week, blow out the Chargers. Like, I just don't know what to think with the Jaguars, in all honesty. I really can't figure out this team. The Cardinals have shown in different games, multiple games this season, where the defense can look like elite, but then in other games they just kind of look mediocre. I know they've been kind of banged up, but every team's been banged up. The Cardinals also going to be without Amari DiMercato. I don't think that one hurts them too much, but the big one is Marvin Harrison Jr. not going to play in this one. I think Trey McBride probably has a big day. He's had a big day for the past 6 weeks in a row. Jacoby Brissett just set the NFL completions record, so shout out to him. I think the Jags are the better team in this one, though. They're favored by 3, but I feel like I said, this could be a very Cardinals game to win. Like, they could very well just shut down the Jags. Trey McBride maybe goes off, and the Cardinals win it at home. I just think the Jags are better. It's hard for me not to pick them with the way they looked. Like, they literally just took it to the Chargers for 3 straight quarters, and then the backups came in. Like, it was Liam Cohen said they were making changes, and I believe him because they looked really good last week. It's hard for me not to pick them, but they've shown flashes like that all season, and I don't know. I'll take the Jaguars. I do think they're the better team. Eagles, Cowboys, this is an interesting one. I feel like this is a game the Cowboys could very well go out and win. At home, Javonte Williams maybe gets going. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson. They got so many weapons. Dak's still playing very well. The Cowboys looked pretty good last week on Monday against the Raiders. Granted, it was against the Raiders. The defense looked a lot better. They made those trade deadline acquisitions, bringing in Logan Wilson, Quinnen Williams, and they looked a lot better. They also got Overshown back. Like, they got a few guys back from injury, I believe. They brought in 2 from the trade deadline. Like, the defense looked pretty good. Now, was that just the Raiders' offense being horrendous? That could be very, very well be it as well. I'm going to be very closely watching this game because the Eagles' offense also just can't seem to get going. Like, they just can't find their rhythm. A.J. Brown's complaining. How much is that affecting them? Saquon Barkley can't really get going. It's kind of a weird thing. This feels like a team in the Eagles trending downward, I want to say. Cowboys kind of trending upward. This feels like a very interesting game to kind of maybe go with an upset here. Maybe take the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Eagles. Like, I feel like they're the better team here. Maybe Saquon can finally get going. I could see it. Like, I don't want to say the Cowboys defense is back just because they shut down the Raiders. Like, I want to see it against a good offense. If the Cowboys shut down the Eagles this week, then maybe we can have that conversation. Maybe the Cowboys can make like a late season run. I could actually see that. But they have to win this game first. The Eagles, I don't know. I just feel like they're due to get going offensively. Like, no way these struggles continue to keep on going. Like, there were some weird coaching decisions last week against the Lions. It was just a weird game, but they ended up winning. I don't know. The Eagles are 8-2. I'll take the Eagles. I don't feel great about it though. Falcons Saints, one of the hardest games to pick for some reason for me this week. I just can't figure this one out. Michael Penix out for the season. Kirk Cousins is getting the nod. He is, in my opinion, one of the better backups in the league, but he didn't look like it last week. He's looked pretty bad, but maybe it's the Shador Sanders thing where he gets the practice reps with the ones this week. Maybe he's good to go on Sunday. We'll see. Maybe that could happen. Drake London going to be out for this game. Darnell Mooney's now the wide receiver 1, and he has not looked very good this season. So how much does that play a factor? I don't know. I think the Falcons still have a lot more playmakers offensively than the Saints do. Kyle Pitts, Bijan, obviously. Tyler Algier's pretty good back himself. Like the Saints got Olave, who is pretty solid, but like Kamara just kind of looks washed in my opinion. Tyler Shuck kind of got going last week. Maybe he can continue that over. Like I could see it. At home the Falcons just don't look great. Like when Kirk Cousins came back in, when he came in last week, Falcons just really did not look good. I don't know. Maybe I'm just holding out hope for Kirk Cousins, but I feel like I don't know. I still feel like he's one of the better backups in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I think the Falcons have a lot more playmakers offensively to make the big explosive plays than the Saints do. I mean, Chris Olave could very well just take that and flip it on its head. He's a very explosive player himself. I think the difference in this one, the Falcons' pass rush has been very good. I think they can probably get to Tyler Shuck a few times. I'll take the Falcons. I feel like I'm taking the Falcons every week. They're 3-7, by the way. Crazy. Does not seem like their record should be that bad. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, I haven't really been watching full Falcons games, but I don't know. Like the roster itself doesn't look like a team that would be 3-7. But here we are. I think the Falcons win. I think the Saints would probably benefit more from losing this game. That's not why I'm going with the Saints. I just think the Falcons pass rush maybe gets to Shuck a little bit too much, turns him over a few times. I think that's the difference maker in this one. But I don't feel great. That one's tough. Bucks Rams. This feels like a very Tampa win, like a Tampa thing to do to win this game. The Bucks always kind of struggle mid-season, but then they go on a run late and look really good. Like I said this last week, the Bucks start out the season always, it feels like, so well. Middle of the season, they kind of lose a few games, maybe a few they shouldn't, and then by the end of the season, they look back to early season form. Bucky Irving sounds like he might play in this one. That could be huge for them. I know Sean Tucker had a great day last week. 3 touchdowns. It was amazing. Ibuka's still doing his thing. Baker Mayfield, he's not at the MVP level he's playing at, but he is still playing very well. I just can't pick against the Rams, right? Like they just beat the Seahawks. I was saying those are the 2 best teams in the league last week. Probably stand by that, at least playing like it was. And the Rams did win. This Rams defense is looking like one of the best defenses in the league, so I think they can slow down the Tampa offense enough. And I think offensively, the Bucs have kind of struggled defending the pass. Stafford may win the MVP, so I don't love that. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, so many weapons for this Rams offense. I like them to get going at home. Just feels like the Rams are unstoppable right now. Maybe you could argue they're due for a loss. And like I said, this feels like a game the Bucs could win and kind of start their emergence back to the top. Maybe that I don't know if it's this week. The Bucs got a lot of games coming up that are very easy, very winnable. I feel like the Bucs, back on track, back on the come up kind of run they're gonna go on to end this season probably starts after this week. So I'm gonna take the Rams at home here on Sunday night, but it should be a high scoring, fun one, great game. I'm excited to watch. And then the Monday night game, Panthers versus 49ers. The Panthers don't look now 6-5. Bryce Young had over 400 passing yards last week. Panthers defense kind of has looked very good in certain games this season. Hold on now, the Panthers may have something going here. I was kind of hating on Bryce Young, but I don't know if I can do that. He played a great game last week, so the Panthers honestly look pretty interesting. They could potentially make a push for the NFC wildcard. I probably would say they won't just because the NFC is so stacked, but I don't know. Niners at home, though. The Niners also looked very good. They blew out the Cardinals last week. The Cardinals scored a lot of points in garbage time. CMC got going. I think he had 3 touchdowns. George Kittle looked really good after Brock Purdy came back, and Brock Purdy looked really good as well. This 49ers team finally getting some pieces on offense back, especially Brock Purdy coming back in. I think that helps their ceiling dramatically. I think the Niners continue to win, get it done, move to 8-4. And continue to make life very difficult on these NFC teams because the NFC playoff picture is just ridiculous right now. You got the 8-2 Eagles, the 4-5-1 Cowboys. I think they're still alive. 7-3 Bears, 6-3-1 Packers, 6-4 Lions. Maybe the 4-6 Vikings still alive, probably not. 6-4 Bucks, 6-5 Panthers, 8-2 Rams, 7-3 Seahawks, 7-4 49ers. Like, so many good teams. I think the Niners continue to roll. I think CMC probably has a big day in this one. Maybe George Kittle continues to roll now that Brock Purdy's back in. The Niners are just looking really good right now, man. I love Kyle Shanahan. I think he's going to win them this game. Well, maybe not him himself, but he's one of the best coaches in the league is what I'm trying to say. And I think his game plan is going to be enough to get this one at home. Primetime Monday night game. Win for the Niners is what I'm predicting. But that's going to do it for the Week 12 NFL game predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you go down there, leave a like, subscribe, turn on the noties if you're new. Like I said at the beginning, college basketball on Mondays, college football on Tuesdays, NFL on Wednesdays, NBA on Thursdays. So make sure you subscribe. And yeah, comment down below what you agree, what you disagree. Love to discuss down there. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow with an NBA video.